All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new session of NSL Live Talk. We haven't done this in a while. I don't really know why, but time is flying by so quickly, and I guess the whole situation is still, I don't know, it actually speaks to do more NSL Live Talk, but I haven't been on a Zoom. We are here, and I have Pete Allum, and we haven't done this in a very long time. And
it's been a while, Kurt. I'm excited to see you again.
Me too. And it's overdue, although we wouldn't really have to do it because you will be in Florida very soon. Tell us a little bit about your travel plans.
Yeah, plan is middle of next week, head to Florida, see my daughter Holly, that famous four-way jumper who lives in the land. And yeah, I'm going to be in Florida for a month, so we'll get a chance to catch up over a coffee and yeah, fill in some more details that we maybe missed out on this chat.
Yeah, we'll do some live stuff then at the drop zone maybe, or where you can. It's beautiful, actually, blue skies, and I mean now it's finally a real Florida winter.
Yeah,
it was not that good for a while. You're lucky that you're coming now. We had a few weeks of really German weather. British weather. Oh, by the way, yeah, British. Let's talk about the Brits for now for a little while, because you said you were at the British Indoor Nationals and you competed, Pete. That's great to hear. So tell us a little bit what was going on there.
Yeah, so I'm back in Spain now.
Sorry, we used to go to the World Challenge together. You know, which is
similar time of year. Yeah, it would have been a month from now that we would have met you at the World Challenge. And so bit of a shame the World Challenge isn't happening. The Bedford's got some issues with it. But I just literally got back yesterday. I'm back at home in Spain now, but I got back yesterday from Basingstoke. I fly Basingstoke, where we did the British Indoor Nationals. It was really fun to be competing again in the UK with a British team.
Which team were you on, or who was in your lineup?
Team Meraki. It's a team.
Meraki.
Yeah, we just started a couple of years ago. We were planning on doing a little bit more training, but obviously COVID really challenged a lot of us for getting together and training. But we did manage to meet up at various tunnels as various countries opened up. We were able to go. We went to Italy once for a training camp, twice in Spain, and then twice in the UK. So that's the training that we've done together.
So I was confused because Meraki is in the NSL records. It's a South African team.
That's right. Yes. So it's a different team now with the same name. We like the team name. The team name is pretty interesting. I'm not going to give you the meaning because I'd like you guys to Google it and check out what Meraki means. But it's a super interesting name for a team. Yeah.
Okay. So it is basically the same team. The origin is the Meraki from South Africa, and you probably have some team members in there who are coming from those days, or?
No. So it's not the same team. It's just the same team name. So it's a completely different group. It's Kate Lindsay, Kath Leather, and Liz Matthews. So Liz has been on the British team, and so has Kate on the girls' side of things before. They've been competing for a while, indoors and outdoors. And the new person with a group, I mean, we're all new. It's our first time we flew together was this last 2 years, is Catherine Leather. She's an FS coach from Hibble Stowaway. And yeah, the goal was just to get together, see how it went. We have Dave Growls as our coach. It's lovely to be on a team, having a coach from the outside. It's been a while since I've had outside coaching.
Yes.
And I have to say, as a full-time coach myself, it's a real pleasure to be coached from the outside. I love it.
I wish I want to do that again. I haven't done that in a long time, you know. So yeah, it is. If somebody just
it feels like a holiday.
Yeah.
It feels like a holiday. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have to change the database. It is a second team now with the famous name Meraki. So I have to do this. In fact, I have to post the scores anyway. So you can already give us a breakdown here. So did you win?
No, we didn't win. We were beaten very nicely by Chimera, which you will have heard of that team name
Yeah.
Chimera was the team that were in a head-to-head with NFTO last year at UK Nationals, where they did multiple jump-offs to finally decide NFTO's winning position. And you know what? I'm really glad for Chimera that they walked away with the gold at this competition. Obviously, I'd love to have won, but I'll be honest with you, Kurt, we had no idea where we were at. This was our very first competition. And for us to come second, and actually we had a good battle. Like if you look at the scores, we lost 7 points in busts. Chimera walked away with 0 busts over the whole competition. And it was tight. You know, it doesn't look so tight on the final score because obviously, you know, you don't see the busts in it, but we were level for a lot. We were switching positions. If you watch the in-time chart, you can see how we switched positions a couple of times through the comp. And then NFTO were in the mix as well. The first 3 positions, so it was Chimera first, we were second, and NFTO third. Now, NFTO had a slight change in the lineup. Sean is away, she's in Uruguay, and Jules was brought back, and she jumped in and did the competition with a little bit of training just prior to the comp. So NFTO weren't at full strength, but they still did proud. I mean, they still did a really nice performance. They ended up with like a 22.9 average. We were sitting on a 24.3 and Meraki on a 25.1. And I would say it was a slowish draw with a lot of blocks out the gate.
So and Chimera is with the same lineup of the past years?
Well, they've got Will with them now. So they have 1 new person, but they've been training with him for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
And their focus, was indoor up until now, but now very much focused on the outdoor. So they're not going to Charleroi, the World Cup. As far as I know, that's what they said. And they were going to put all their effort into the UK Nationals for this year, the outdoor.
Yeah, and then the World Meet. So yes, and then but Meraki is registered, so we will see you perform in Charleroi with your team. And
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm hoping to make it. Yeah, I'm still asking.
Yeah, we hope that you can get there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we will get the support that it takes. I mean, that the NSL needs to get the support that it takes to get there. We'll find out about that. But the plan is to be there, and I would love to, to see you fly in competition again.
Yeah, I think, a big competition without you there and the NSL, Kurt, it's almost like it didn't happen. The single greatest way to get information about 4-way right now is the NSL. If you want to know what's happening in various countries, etc. And so without you there, who knows what's going on. So I really hope that we can get you there, man.
Well, I hope. I'm holding, crossing my fingers, you say in the States, or holding your thumb, you say in Germany.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon. I hope we can make it. So NFTO had a change already before. I'm a little bit behind the power curve there with NFTO, but Jules came in for 2000 for the World Meet, the last World Meet, and then she left after Tanai didn't take place, right?
Yeah, that's right. And there've been a couple of changes, and Kath is back now as well. So if you want the full story on an NFTO, you probably want to go right to the team. But Jules basically came back because Sean wasn't around. But you have Vanna, Anna, and Kath, and Sean is the full NFTO lineup. And Jules was standing in for Sean.
Okay, so Sean will be back for the World Cup, the Indoor World Cup.
I believe so, yes.
Well, I will find out. I will contact Vanna. She's a good informant. You get answers from her actually nicely and quickly usually. Okay, so we have a good British delegation there in Belgium.
Yeah, so maybe I can just catch up with the rest of the table, the table on the AAA. So Eros came in 4th with a 20 average, which I think for them, they were really excited about. That's the first time I think this team has seen a 20 average. And you know what that's like for a team to bust that. Always
without like Joey.
Yeah, without Joey. Yeah, their team.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So I think they're excited. They look pretty excited with the average. And then they had Team Shaka, At 17-4, they had a good battle with Alola, which Alola I think we're going to see more of.
Yep.
It was another girls team, got some real strong flyers on it.
And
They
they
had a
registered for
17.
Charleroi too.
There you go. So both of those teams were on a 17 plus average. And then below them was the British Army team, Voltage, or Voltige, however you want to say that. And then an interesting one came in last place, Team Omni. Now, if you guys are into VFS, you'll have heard of Team Omni as a VFS team. They've been the British VFS team for the last while.
Okay.
They put on some belly suits with booties, did a small amount of training, and then competed at the Nationals. And they were in just after us, and it was a pleasure to see them because I mean, you know how hard VFS is. It's insanely hard. And you watch teams do VFS as a regular FS jumper and you go, wow, that's difficult. But these guys came and then got a taste of the other side of the fence as well. They ended up with just over a 10-point average. I think maybe for them, it was also a bit of a shock of how challenging regular four-way can be as well.
Well, they're not the first ones. I'm sure that you can give us the background and you remember and give a quick background of the Canadians in 2014.
Yeah. Well, that's a different one. I mean, those guys, for me, they made a decision that they weren't going to do one event and aim just to win that one event. They would split their loyalties, the Canadian four-way team, as you know, between FS and VFS in order to push in both disciplines. Now, it's almost impossible to do, but they did it.
Yeah.
And they medaled, and it was just both disciplines. It was mind-blowing.
It was an historic event. We talk a lot about, the double duties and, winning Mathieu as the only one winning 2 medals, four-way, 8-way and all that kind of stuff. Nobody talks about the Canadians. I mean, that transition, or that double duty that you just talked about, the guys, I mean, you pointed out the guys at the British Nationals now in VFS and four-way, and you said how difficult it is. Yeah, it is. I cannot even imagine that in my life doing it by myself. And then the Canadians, they won medals in both events at an outdoor world championship. At an
outdoor world championships, which for me, that is one of the greatest competitive highs of all time in skydiving.
Totally agree.
And I'd love to see those guys remembered in the history books for that as well. Well, and hopefully inspired someone else as well. We'll keep spreading the word, Kurt, won't we?
Yeah, we will. But the NSL News has it in the records, and I'm pointing it out on a regular basis. So I hope it will, at least when I'm dead, then it may disappear.
Nice. So maybe shall I just go a quick run through the rest of the categories?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
So in the rookie event, there were 6 teams. The event was won with a 15.3 average by Space Pirates, and then Booty's Call with a 13.5, and then First 8 with a 10.3 average. Not all the teams have been fully scored yet. Maybe just a little side note on that. There was one judging team. It wasn't live judging, and I have to say they had their work cut out because there was 2 quite new judges coming on with one very experienced judge, and they were literally just thrown into the frying pan, if you like, to try and get through British Nationals. They did it. They managed to get it done before prize giving, but they really struggled. And I think we should be looking more and more at live judging at an indoor event. I recently live judged at the Belgian Indoor Nationals. I did that in December. And I think if you have an experienced team and you have the chance for a slow motion review, you can get scores out instantly. It does work. Of course, it's not as thorough as if it was, the usual method of judging where you've got multiple views, but people need the scores. We did not know until round 9 where we were exactly with the points. We had to guess. But the judges were doing their best. I want to say, I don't want to blame the judges for that. The judges were doing the best they had in the situation, but I think we need to do better as an organizing, as someone, from the organizing side of things, to make sure the scores get out.
Yeah, the Kirk Werner and BK have been doing this at Meraki for many years, You know, the scores are out. They're sitting there, and you know, a minute after or during the, you know, the performance, you get the scores. But they are the most experienced competitors on the planet, you know, so they can do it.
Yeah,
so they've had this, and it works. It works if you have, you know, the right people for it. Yes.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. I've seen it happen, and you're right. I think it's the way forward, and also from the spectator side of things as well. I mean, for the competitor, it's critical to get the scores, but who's going to watch an event if you don't even know who's winning, you know, or what the battles are at, you know?
I have complained about this for many years, you know, that it's a shame that you go into the last round and you don't know your score for round 5 or 6, you know. I mean, even on the But
although, as I said, the judges did give us the scores by around 9 and 10. So they worked until 11:30 at night on the Saturday, and they were back in there at 6:30 in the morning on the Sunday. And they did the best that they could, and they got the scores to us by around 9. Yeah, so moving on to AA, there was 8 teams in the AA, far ahead, Deep and Filthy. They had a 17.3 average. They were kind of out there a little bit, but really good battle for second and third. A 1 point difference between Foreigners and Grenade. So that was really good to see. And you know what it's like when you're watching those final scores come down and there's those little battles going on. There was that feeling back in the tunnel, you know, watching the last rounds being scored. So that was fun. It's good to be part of that. And then in 4th place, 12.3 was Martial Law. Now let me just go to the single A. There was some interesting stuff there. Now, Skydive Recruits, which you'll probably recognize, Kurt, from Bedford. Yeah, they decided to stick with a single A, even though they'd gone up to AA before. It's always an interest.
Right? Used to be a junior.
Like I was looking around for the kids, but they've all grown up. They're all like 6 foot, you know, and they're all, not all of them, but they're all grown up skydivers.
Did you follow this? So. Did you follow this? Sorry to interrupt, but did you follow this in France? That the former juniors, you know, the Academy juniors, they're now the national team in open class. Indoor
I
national
see
team.
that. Yes, yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, that's amazing. So that's for Skydive Recruits. That's your path out there for you. You know, you've got to just keep heading onwards and upwards. And so obviously they were a pretty strong team anyway. They'd done the AA. They went back into single A. They had a 20.3 average, which, whatever you say, that's not easy to do. So congrats to them. And then there was a really good fight in 2nd and 3rd, and it was Dennis and Tarno. O'Brien, Dennis and Tano from Parker, from you know Vanna's husband and their son Tano. They were competing on the same team, and that was so cool to see. The guy, I think he just had his 17th birthday today, actually. But they were in Breaking Dad, obviously, and they had a really good battle with Winged Hussars. Breaking Dad were in lead for the first couple of rounds, and then they kind of had some ups and downs, but it did come down to the last couple of rounds where Winged Hussars pipped them at the post with a 15.1 average, and then Breaking Dad with a 14.7. So yeah, that was a pretty close competition, and great to watch that the last couple of rounds.
Well, we'll try to find, we'll get information. I will also ask for the videos. Hopefully we'll get some of the videos soon and bring it in with a full range to the audience.
I agree. It would be lovely to see that, and also some of the pictures of the different teams that were on it, just to get those names and faces in the four-way world, because your site is the place where people get to hear about it, and where people look to find new teammates or what teams are doing as well. VFS was Omni, that team, as I was mentioning, they competed in FS. They had a 16.8 average, and they convinced a couple of their friends to make another team called Not Omni with a 4.3 average.
What was the
not so
average?
inventive on the team names. 4.3. Sorry, 7. Hang on. Yeah, 16.8 for Omni, 99, and 7.2 for Not Omni.
I could not even do a 4-point average in VFS. I would end
tell
up
me
with
about it.
0.5 average probably would be.
Well, that's the thing. You see 7.2 and you kind of dismiss it.
Yeah.
But no, just they mean that team scored 12 on their first round. I mean, just scoring points on your head, you know, especially with the head up stuff as well. I was quite honored to judge the VFS in Belgium as well. And just judging it's hard, let alone doing it. So yeah.
By the way, you and I probably, I remember that I won the German nationals with a 7-point average in four-way open in 1980. In the mid-80s.
Those were the days, Kurt. And we thought 10-point average was the average to get, right?
Yeah. Well, Pete, that was fantastic, the update. So thanks for reminding me that there are British indoor nationals. And I can't wait to see you and the British delegation at the indoor World Championship.
Yeah, thank you, Kurt. Yeah, the British Indoor Skydiving Association, BISA, they're the ones that are kind of responsible for that. And I'll put you in touch with Fletch and hopefully you'll get some more information.
All right. Thank you very much, Pete, for the update from England. Pete Allum. Thank you.